Hello, my name is Caitlin, and today our topic is state funding of wind farming. The purpose of this speech is to evaluate what policy that state of Oklahoma should adopt regarding the funding of wind farms. Wind farming promotes clean energy and also gives public-private partnerships to advance clean energy in an environment. They are a significant part of Oklahoma, but there can always be room for improvement. How many of you know about how important wind farming really is, or know someone that is involved in the wind farming industry? Hello, our names are Caitlin, Mara, Luke, Lindsay, and Madeline. The wind energy from these farms reduces the price uncertainty that fuel costs add to traditional sources of energy. Oklahoma ranks about number 2 in the nation for installed power capacity. So, since Oklahoma is presently wind-rich with this resource extensively exploited for power implications, there should be more locations where wind farming occurs. Now that you know a little bit more about Oklahoma's wind farming, we are going to get into more detail and background and also how wind farming can be improved throughout Oklahoma.
According to Energy Sage, wind energy has the potential to provide numerous benefits to the state of Oklahoma, including clean renewable energy and efficient land use. Because Oklahoma is so prevalent in the oil and natural gas industry, the state has yet to embrace the benefits that wind farming has to offer. Jack Money with the Oklahoman says that though Oklahoma is ranked second in the country's wind power usage, wind energy only accounts for 34% of the state's energy. Wind farming has yet to overtake the Oklahoma oil and natural gas industry as a major primary producer for various reasons. According to the Oklahoma Historical Society, oil has been a fundamental part of the state of Oklahoma since oil was first discovered by accident in 1859. Oklahomans have grown up around the industry and many rely on it for jobs. Wind energy can be seen as a threat to what is known to them. There has also been community pushback due to noise and visual pollution as well as negative environmental impacts due to wind farms. According to Energy Sage, wind energy is also unreliable due to weather patterns. Wind energy cannot always be guaranteed in times of demand, so oil and natural gas is needed to supplement. By keeping wind energy from being a primary energy source in Oklahoma, the state is losing the opportunity to fully utilize a clean and sustainable resource. The state will remain reliant on oil and natural gas, which is unrenewable and exploited. The state is also losing the opportunity to create jobs. According to energy.gov, the wind energy industry is one of the fastest growing American jobs of the decade.
As previously discussed, there's a lot of community pushback regarding the wind energy industry in Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's renewable energy policies sometimes fail to protect small communities, and other times they just don't make the most economic sense. When implemented correctly, wind farms offer an ecologically and economically sustainable energy solution, but in order for these benefits to be embraced, several more negative aspects must be addressed and corrected. As can be viewed in Wind Energy Pros and Cons by Energy Sage, in order to construct a sustainability mass balance for wind energy in Oklahoma, we must first establish a set of criteria that legislation must adhere to and force companies to adhere to. So there's a lot of practical criteria as well as value criteria when addressing these concerns. For practical criteria, first of all, the proposed legislation must offer long-term, economically sustainable cost analysis benefits in order to be passed by the state legislators. They have to be able to save states monies in the long term and not just short-term benefits. Wind farms must be properly sited, meaning they have to be put in the right places. This is to minimize negative ecological disruption to local ecosystems, as well as to minimize off-production hours and to decrease the money loss and energy loss that would come from siting them in the wrong place. Also, we would need to develop a community relations plan, and that would need to be implemented and maintained in order to address public concerns and complaints concerning land use rights and aesthetic properties, as discussed above. And then when it comes to value criteria, it's just stuff like any solution should allow the free market to control the price of energy to ensure that an economically sustainable solution is reached, as well as thoroughly developing an energy distribution plan, and then implementing it to ensure that Oklahoma citizens whose land is being used and whose money and tax money is being used to develop these wind farms are being properly compensated and fairly allotted the energy that they're producing. And then finally, a big concern of the last couple of years is the fact that the energy companies that are building these wind farms aren't really being taxed properly, and they're not contributing as much money as the state is. And they should be taxed adequately and fairly to ensure long-term longevity and sustainability, and that to ensure the protection of local municipalities.
Now that you have a better understanding of the problem of underused wind resources and the need for a comprehensive solution that addresses economic, ecological, and community concerns, we'd like to present a few potential solutions. The first possible solution to improving the wind energy industry is to use general regulatory policies. This can include laws that mandate the amount of energy that must come from wind sources as opposed to other sources. It could also come in the form of price ceilings or price floors that mandate the prices on the different levels of the supply chain, so this can affect both producers and consumers. Another possible solution would be the use of personal and corporate tax credits. Tax credits used for both households and corporations provide some sort of a tax break on energy expenditures when they are renewable resources. In this case, it would be specifically wind. Tax credits provide an incentive to energy consumers to use wind energy rather than any other sources. By providing a tax incentive, the government is lowering the effective cost of wind energy with the goal of increasing the use of wind-sourced energy. The final potential solution is grant or loan programs. Grant and loan programs are meant to provide funds to producers in order to boost the industry. Grant programs provide gift money, while loans require a payback after a certain amount of time at a fixed interest rate. Grants and loans help support a growing industry by providing the financial capital that new businesses and producers need in order to enter the industry.
Okay, so as far as evaluating these three solutions, implementing regulations that control the amount of energy coming from wind sources will directly force areas without wind power to start constructing more wind turbines. Therefore, these regulations could also possibly open up opportunities for wind turbine businesses that are getting outcompeted by oil and natural gas industry. Implementing these regulations would do best alongside the use of price floors on gas and oil. This would directly force customers to stick with wind energy even when the supply of oils is very abundant. As far as corporate tax breaks goes, the use of tax credits have already been proven to greatly benefit wind companies. Not only would giving tax breaks to wind companies help them grow, but it would also prevent them from feeling the effects of a price ceiling if it was to be put on wind energy stuff. Grant and loan programs, they're similar to tax credits, but more effective if a grant is given to a small wind energy business. Grants to specifically small wind companies will give them opportunities to grow and to eventually be able to outcompete gas and oil companies. That being said, there should be regulations controlling the amount granted. If the grant is not sufficient enough, then obviously the companies are not going to be able to grow, and it's going to be a waste of time.
So, since the above legislative policies all have potential to increase the percentage of energy produced from wind energy in Oklahoma, but what really is the best solution? According to windexchange.energy.gov, the drastic increases in energy between 2010 and 2015 were primarily due to corporate tax breaks given to large energy companies. Though corporations are more likely to ignore the needs of local districts, thus creating problems that would need to be resolved, corporate tax breaks currently seem to be the best way to persuade wind farm growth in Oklahoma. Creating electricity using wind and air flows benefits our environment in a great way, and there should be more in Oklahoma. The Wind Vision report shows that wind can be a viable source of renewable electricity in all 50 states by 2050. Wind energy supports a strong domestic supply chain. Wind has the potential to support over 600,000 jobs in manufacturing, installation, maintenance, and supporting services by 2050.
So, in order to implement tax breaks, we first should be able to let our local governments know that people are supportive of wind-based energy, and we are ready to graduate from the archaic practice of burning things for power. This will propel our legislators to help out wind companies. Number two, if you have the option to pay a slightly higher price for wind generated energy, then go ahead and do it. Clean energy is always better than fossil fuel burning, no matter what the price. Paying a slightly higher price for wind energy will also in turn help out wind companies grow. The final strategy is to simply spread the word. If we get more people to know about wind energy, then more people will care about it, and therefore increasing the public's influence on legislation regarding wind energy.
With these solutions, Oklahoma can move forward in utilizing wind energy and the benefits that come from it. Wind farming is a significant resource in Oklahoma that can provide sustainable energy, jobs, and revenue, and will make the state less reliant on oil and natural gas. Today we have discussed why wind energy being a secondary resource is a problem, policies that can be implemented to allow for more wind farming, the qualifications these policies must meet, and how to best implement these. With these policies in place, Oklahoma can look forward to a better, clean, and sustainable future.